It's time for the Centerville Community School meeting, April 28, 2025. We would like to start with a roll call.
Berger.
Here.
Carter.
Here.
Heffron. Here. Johnson.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Thomas.
Here.
Liskus.
Here. Okay. Next item is approve the agenda. Moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, sign. Motion carries. Item 3, budget information to the Board of Directors.
I don't have any changes from the presentation last week, so I'm gonna, if the board approves to adopt the budget at 16.71, sorry, right there. 71481, and that's what I will adopt the budget at. You can go lower, you just can't go higher. If you choose to go lower, you have to make that decision now.
You're looking for a motion to approve?
Well, not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
This is the budget here, we can't.
Yeah. Just,
Okay.
I guess if you have any questions, it's the same printout from last week. I just want to make sure you guys have it in case anyone had questions again.
The current bills, the current property tax changes bills could impact what's actually collected this year potentially, but are generally slated not to impact this year, but the year after. Any adjustments to the compromise bills that would pass would come from the Department of Management, so it wouldn't be adjustments that we would make. Department of Management would do that if it was after the point that we make an approval.
So the legislature has not finished the property tax?
As I understand it, now I didn't check in again today, because I've been running, but there were 2 bills, I think, that were still alive, with a third potentially on the way in for the property tax bills.
I watched this week. It was so confusing, so confusing.
The current bills have a real negative effect on our PEPAL funds as a district. They provide a small amount of relief to residential, but not so much relief in our area as if we're property poor. But they would make us lose anywhere from 30 to 40% of our PEPAL funds per year.
Now, that's not
If the current one passes. So, should be a little frightening that way. Because it actually will give a larger percentage to property-rich districts. We've talked about that. They'll get a little bit more money to do things. Property-poor districts will get a little bit less.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. No sense.
Any other questions? Ready for item 4, comments from interested visitors. Looks pretty quiet. Part 5 here, board discussion on the budget. We did that one
Well,
already?
I mean, it's more, sorry.
Nothing
I have no
else?
comments.
No other comments? Okay. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have adjourned. Next, we're ready for the regular board meeting. Call to order with a roll call.
Berger.
Here.
Carter.
Here.
Liskus, or Heffron. Here. Johnson.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Thomas.
Here.
Liskus.
Here. And we're ready to welcome visitors and a public forum. Anyone would like to speak to the board?
I'm here for Kenny Harvey.
Oh, actually, we have a special spot for you, Andrew.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, you're the student presentation.
You're coming up.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Thank you.
But thank you, I appreciate your confidence.
Yeah,
We'll hear from you later.
thank you.
And we'll be
you.
very excited to hear from him. I
Okay.
hope you'll like him a lot.
Item 3, approval agenda.
So moved.
Moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda has been approved. We have no old business. We are down to new business.
Now you
Student representative.
And you get to sit right here.
get a chair and everything.
Thank you. Okay. So,
Why don't you introduce you in case everybody doesn't know?
Yes, my name's Andrew Russell. I'm substituting for Kenley Harvey today. She wasn't able to make it, so. We have a band concert on the Wednesday, April 30th. FCA members have planted soil for the elementary. We have middle schoolers went to Drake Neways on Friday, and we are going to begin candy for teachers for appreciation week. That's all I have right now.
Sounds good.
Anything else?
But that's all I have.
Who's going to the Drake Rios?
Middle schoolers.
Last one.
There's a couple
Boys
of,
and girls.
yeah, there's a couple of relay teams that set, they came in like 21st, 22nd out of 40 or 50, but they set personal records for their team, so they did their best, so.
Wow.
How cool is that for the school?
Yeah.
Any more questions?
How did prom go? You wanna share a little bit about that?
Prom, everyone was happy. Everyone loved the photo booths, so, and everyone enjoyed it from what I've seen, so. Yeah.
Okay. And what's the general feeling about getting ready, because you're a junior, right?
Just,
What is the general feeling about the end of school in the summer? Are we able to focus for the rest of the year? That's my question.
Fair
yeah,
question.
Oh, yeah.
I think the juniors and sophomores have it. I think the ones that are struggling are the freshmen. Around this time, they get crazy.
I'm telling you, the middle school can't focus right now. I'm just hoping that the high school is
No,
focused.
the freshmen are going wild right now, so.
Okay.
But other than that, I think we're all ready.
You have summer plans?
Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully talk to the undergrads. I'm going to hopefully start a college application for Iowa, and, yeah, I'm excited for this summer.
Very good.
Thank you, Andrew.
And my offer, Stan, all you gotta do is let somebody here know to get home, and I will help you with your goals.
Right, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Heal up too, man.
Okay, the next is our director reports. Where would you like to start?
Well, I see Cameron first, so let's give Cameron first crack at it here.
Well, we wrapped up ISAS. Happy that that's finally done with. It's a project every year, but it went good. Next big thing we're working on right now is Infinite Campus. We've got a lot of meetings scheduled for the next 2 months of everyone getting to training and getting set up for in-person registration, so we can do online registration. So Infinite Campus stuff, we sent in on Friday the first bulk of data to get our site live. So I think it's the Wednesday this week we'll actually get access, be able to log in, and then next week I do my first admin training with Emily and we can actually get our users logged in. So principals, secretaries, and everybody will actually be able to get in, and then we'll start our trainings, and the new fund will begin with that. So it really was big on our agenda right now in the tech world.
Any questions for Cameron? Thank you, sir. Who's next?
Mike?
We're just kind of getting started with the software that you guys approved for transportation planning for next year. They're mapping out our area right now, and then I'll get with them and we'll kind of figure out how all that works. So probably something more towards summer on that. Going right through these spring sports. Almost done with that. We'll head on this summer. Oh, my bus salesman called me the other day, and it sounds like we'll have our 2 new buses around mid-July, so we'll have those ready to go for the start of school, which is good because, as you guys know, sometimes it took almost 2 years to get a new bus, so it sounds like those are on schedule, and I think that's about it. Just everything's going pretty good, knock on wood, so.
So with the new buses, that could kick your 15-year strategy in? Is that part of all of that?
Yep,
Okay.
yeah, so we're on schedule to do that, now we've mapped all that out, so,
Okay.
yep.
I'm glad you're doing that. I'm
As
glad
long as the
you're
world
doing
doesn't go crazy again, we should be able to stick to that plan. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
good plan. Any other questions or comments? Thank you, sir. Who's next?
Jared?
All months in my report, I think the only thing that had really put in there is Cameron and I are still working on kind of finalizing some of that esports room stuff for the summer. We kind of talked our goals to hopefully get it with you on the board agenda in May, before we kind of kick off the summer, so, I think that's the only thing that really wasn't in there. Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir. Ryan?
I just kind of looked at my report here, all my data's in there, but I'm kind of like the state of a month behind really. So you're looking at March data for, we're almost in May, but we didn't have quite as good a month in March. We were up and down. Overall, we were up, but we had a few grade levels that kind of dropped in attendance a little bit. I would like to point out there that we're 4 percentage points better at this, day to day from where we were last year. So that's about 50 kids that we've got to school more than were there last year. So I just wanted to point that out.
I think that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's good.
Commendable. Appreciate your efforts. Any other questions or comments? Nope.
That's directors.
That's it. Principal reports.
Brian, you wanna go first?
Yes, I'll start us out here, just kind of a brief thing, I got my report in there, but just kind of briefly, we did ISAFs, we were able to reach all the kids, so that's good. We had one that was on vacation, but she came back and we got it done on time, so that was awesome. One thing I didn't put in here, but I should put in here, is we're gonna have transitional meetings here coming up pretty soon, so that'll probably be on the next meeting, but our transitions to Howard, and then our transitions from preschool, so those will be coming up, just to make sure that we stay in communication with where kids are going or where kids are coming from. We had a good PBIS event, that was kind of there on the lawn, you can see, kids got to participate in that, which was good fun. We have a lot of field trips coming up right now, so one of them was the Science Center, we had a good field trip there. We've got really every grade's kind of going somewhere, doing something, so those will continue to be coming up. And then we had a really good concert, music concert, which was band and choir at the high school. Gosh, when was that? Was that last week? Yeah, I think it was last week. So that got moved a little bit, but we have, as you guys know, we have great staff, and the kids did a really great job. So that was a great concert there. Kind of going down here, we are continuing to work on letters. We did have, I think I saw somebody else had, maybe it was Jenny on the high school report. We did have the Centerville Police Department in collaboration with us to do our intruder drill, and that went really well. Got good feedback from that. Good pointers and good things that we continue to improve. But overall, the best comment that I heard from Chief Demery was, we didn't hear, see, or know that any kids were here. Like, we got to try our intruder button, which shuts the fire doors. And our building's fortunate, we have a lot of magnetic doors, but the kids and the staff are really good that, when we were going on the intercom and saying that this is where they were leaving the building at the right time. And so the chief was like, we didn't see or hear or even know that there was a kid in this building. So that's really good for a bunch of kindergarten through 5th graders, and they handled it very well, and our staff did a great job. If you have not noticed, you can see on Facebook, we did have our PTO, they provided another basketball hoop. I guess at one time we did have 2, and then there was like a change in the back before me, but kids love playing basketball out there, so that was a great accomplishment with some donations and some help from area businesses and our PTO, of course. And then our garden club also had some donations, so they have some nice planter boxes now, and they're going to start doing that. My kids are in the garden club, and I know they have a lot of fun with that. One thing that I want to add is I talked to Miss Lynn, Sarah Lynn from our PTO. We had talked to the PTO about potential. We're always looking for things that excite kids, PBIS awards, things that kids can earn. One thing that we had this year was Hardee's was great, donates and things. Kids love that. But I saw some come across about a book vending machine, and that the kids can get like a coin to earn this book. And so I reached out to the PTO and I said, hey, I think I would want to put this like in a prominent location where kids walk by. We just noticed with this book blast that kids love books. They don't always have access, but they love books. Earning a book is a big thing to a kid. And so I reached out to the PTO. I said, hey, is there any way like I would put it in a good location, and kids every day would be like, hey, how do I get books out of that machine? Good behavior. We draw names, and every week we could draw a younger and older age kid. and they were all about it. I got the message today that they got it ordered. So as you guys know, we have a great support PTO, but we're just looking for things that excite kids. And if we can get kids reading and excited about good behavior, that's a win-win. So we'll make it a big deal. It'll be ready to go for next year that, hey, so-and-so won the book, and they got to pick out a book of their choice. And it's like a true vending machine. They put the coin in and they get a book. So we hope to make it a big deal. But I just got that message today that it got ordered. So we're always looking for those things. That's it.
Backing up to the safety, you had talked about
Yeah.
the safety drills and that. Are we going to be adding the window coverings to the back of Lakeview on those doors?
Fine, I'll make it.
Like the door
I don't
going
know
into
if I-
the trophy hall and the other door going.
Oh, for the back parking.
That would probably be
That
a good
hall.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably next.
I had some teachers wondering about that, so.
That's a good idea. Get them measured up, see what
Okay.
it'll cost
All right,
us.
thank you.
Any other questions for Brian? Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, Terry.
I didn't have anything additional. I just want to give credit to the people involved to get our kids to Drake. Todd Donalds actually reached out to Ty Oden, our track coach, and said there was a last minute drop with the Drake relays and we could take our boys. So that's how that came to be. It's just those two men and their conversation. And Mike, bless his heart, I called him. Spring is a terrible time to try to get vehicles for added extras. When we schedule things, I always tell the teachers, we're looking at Wednesdays and Mondays, because you know it's golf, it's tennis, it's track, it's all that. Well, I'm gonna give a shout out to Julie Caraccio because I called, we were supposed to go to Cedar Rapids to a phenomenal training that we went to. And Julie Caraccio ended up driving her own vehicle so she could leave a school vehicle here so that our kids could go to the Drake relays. So sometimes people don't always hear when people make sacrifices to make it work. They just hear when it doesn't work. So I just wanted to tell you about the good work going on between all those individuals to provide that opportunity for our kids.
Any questions or comments?
Yes, I'm very talkative tonight, apparently. I was wondering, I was looking through the attendance statistics and the one where it talks about 18% of the kids that miss more than 10. Is that a normal, is that a trend?
It
or-
is less this year than it has
Okay.
been the last few. But it kind of breaks my heart. And the only reason I share that all together is that, you know, when we talk about that multi-tiered system, we want to make sure everybody has what they need at each level. But what that kind of shows is that our same friends who are struggling to get here are the ones who are struggling to comprehend and be successful learners, so.
I just saw that 18%.
I know.
And I didn't know if it was
And
better or
54.
worse.
Slightly better, but
54
not
just sounds like a
overwhelming
lot.
still.
Okay,
But, yeah, but it is down from years past.
good. Is that illness? I mean, is it probably lots of reasons, of course?
Yeah.
No, okay.
And
I
we've
think
had
lots of
some,
reasons is a
and
fair
we've had,
statement, don't you?
yes, I do too. We've had some discipline issues where we have sent some friends out for 10 days at a time.
Yeah.
But I feel like those things, I always wrestle with that. Like Brad one day helped me a lot with that because I was like, Brad, I feel like I should do this. He's like, Terry, it's just as simple. Do the right thing.
Yeah, that's.
This attendance takes care of itself. We're not gonna worry what the state says about that. If this is such a dangerous situation that children need this kind of consequence, just do it and move on.
Yeah.
So that helped me not to feel so guilty because we do have some friends who made some bad choices and a handful only.
Yeah,
But-
I understand that, yeah. Okay, thank you. Just wondered.
Even a handful after the 4th of July, maybe.
Yeah.
That- Not quite 5, I don't think.
Is it about that percentage in high school?
That's probably pretty
Probably
close, I'd say,
pretty-
wouldn't you, Brad?
Probably a little higher, I
A little higher? Okay. But it sounds like we have a lot of, I mean, we're
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely.
doing what we can do.
Yeah, we're definitely a district that, you know, is battling just like every other district. I think what Brad, maybe a couple months ago, you shared some district, and maybe we shouldn't say it anyway, it's not very polite, but you shared some statistics that another district had shared with me, or maybe it was Julie that shared it, and I was like, oh, well, we're not in that boat at least.
Well, that's good.
That must have been Julie.
It might have been Julie, maybe
Good
it was at a
correlation
conference
too,
or something.
when you look at the number of families involved in conferences in your building as well.
I know.
You know, I was looking at that, I was thinking about that this afternoon. I was finishing my homework before coming to class tonight, you know. When I was looking at that, it just kind of made me think, and this could be for all buildings in general, and I say this for next year, I'll have a student in each building. it's nice to have it back in person, but do you think if there was an alternative to have that Zoom alternative or Teams or whatever?
I call people who don't come and offer them things like that, but
And nothing?
I think we're gonna, we have some crazy ideas about ways to do that better. I kind of wrote that we need to do some different things with family engagement, but, you know, I don't know, this conference was absolutely amazing, and kudos to Jenny Donalds for kind of sharing, like, this is great stuff. We probably want to go in that direction, and we all felt that. But, you know what, there's just a lot of good kids doing a lot of good things in our school district. And I think sometimes, like, in my mind, I kind of thought, there's gonna be a lot of discipline. Truthfully, we just got a lot of kids doing a lot of good things. We still have kids who are ornery,
Yeah.
but, you know, there's a lot of good things going on.
Just want to get that family engagement.
Me too.
Sometimes you
Me
can't,
too.
you can't force it.
But I think it always starts with that age-old thing that we all learned, like, I know I'm older than a lot of people, but I'll tell you what, we always learned in school, first contact needs to be positive.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I know how I feel when I pick up the phone and it's got my kid's school number on it, I'm like, what? You know, and we gotta break that cycle to where maybe when the school calls, they call with good news. That kind of helps parents want to be a little bit more involved.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Matt.
No Jenny today because she is at that conference with Julie up in Alaska. They were at lunch when I called after the school day ended here, you know, because the time difference, and they said the morning was amazing. And they can't wait. They're already like, oh, we heard about this training, we need to take people to. So they're like geeking out over it, loving it up there.
Where are
It's in Alaska, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, paid for by the state as a year up.
Wow.
School.
And next year, the tallest board member gets to go.
You're always getting the weights for your head, I think.
I'm
right
just,
now.
yeah, I'm thinking of age.
I saw it on the state website.
There's no school board members at all.
It's more of a hunting trip, right?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I can't see either Julie or,
Mike
well,
and
maybe
Pete.
Jenny.
Take Mike and Mike, they'll show you around.
You know, I'm pretty tall.
Yeah.
Oh.
I did leave Aaron out. He did actually send me some stuff for a report here. It is mowing season, he said, or actually mowing season is upon us, which is taking a lot of time. Last Friday, Jared, Steve, and Aaron worked with a large group of FCA students to mulch the preschool playground. All the kids that helped out did a wonderful job and worked hard. The preschool teachers and students are very pleased with the results. That was his thing he wanted to add.
Okay, I think we're ready to approve and certify the 2025-26 budget with a roll call vote. I guess we need a motion first.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? No. Roll call vote, please.
Fraser,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Heffron,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Liscan.
Yes.
Okay, budget has been approved. We're down to item E, approve Lakeview Band Room project bid and contract. I think it's in your packet.
When Aaron asked me to say these things about what's in your package, or maybe it was on the table too. This is the bid we're recommending to use to repair the Lakeview Band Room. This includes to replace all roof materials along with replacing, several layers of blockwork, repainting and building a temp structure over the entire room with rolled roofing materials to protect that room and the rest of the school from other potential weather-related damage. This is the bid that the insurance company requested that we accept between the two, because we're not beholden to competitive bidding on this one because we have the emergency bids. The other bid is lower, but within that bid, they were going to just pay to replace anything destroyed when they had the roof off for 2 weeks. And the insurance company said that they would actually prefer that they've seen those and that it doesn't, there's always debate about what they're actually gonna pay for. So the insurance company recommended that we do the one where they're actually gonna build the structure over that space so that the piano isn't getting damaged and the walls and everything.
You still don't have the contract available,
Right,
so.
just a bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we'll approve the bids, and then by default, we're approving, we actually have the actual contract later, right?
We'll bring the contract back to the next
Yeah.
meeting to officially approve the contract too.
So, they're planning to get down and get it done, because it's gonna take them a couple of months.
Yeah, they have a timeline, they'll get it done in time for school. Aaron said he I feel like we've worked through the same things with construction together. We said, I'm going to just budget for, maybe we wanna have a plan for the first 2 weeks just in case.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, that seems fair.
Yeah, so let's mention that.
But they are pretty comfortable that they'll have it done on time.
So my only comment is I think Mark and Lisa need some credit for being, highly initiative to get that insurance, whatever, that rider and the insurance done. Yeah,
The day before.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for my money vote, you've got my permission to continue to do that because obviously it won't, so.
Thanks, that worked out.
So I got my blessing on that one. And with that motion to approve the bid.
Second.
Can we have a motion second to approve the bid? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Bid has been approved. Item F, approve window safety project, Howard and preschool.
So this is a continuation of what you've probably seen at Lakeview and high school, those window coverings that you can see out, but you can't see into. We branded them up pretty nicely, they're buildings really pop, so this is to approve for those 2 buildings. Our hope is to be able to use the remaining security grant funds for these, but there's some debate about whether those may now be frozen because of some of the federal changes. So if they are frozen, we've got it budgeted aside to be able to do this and make the safety happen. It'd just be nice to use money that isn't continuing on, so we're gonna try that first and see if we can get it.
Motion and a second to approve the window safety project at Howard preschool. Any further discussion?
Just can they prove the spelling with?
Yeah, no, Lakeview Elementary. That was a blast.
That was great, the post you put them up.
Thanks.
Phonetically reading them.
Yeah, thanks.
Is that already fixed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next
No,
one.
it was fixed the day that Mark posted it.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
that's awesome.
It was good.
Good.
Well, good for them for getting down there.
Yeah, they did a good job. And
That
really, they
says a
were
lot
good.
about them.
They did great service and they recognized that mistake right away and were like, oh gosh, we know what happened, and they took care of it.
That
And
gets
it
you
made
more
for a good
business.
funny post for us, so it was good.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Project is approved. Approve the summer concrete project.
From Aaron, this will be to finish the front parking lot at the bus barn. He said his plan is over the next several years to finish concreting the entire compound. I would have said facility, but compound. I'll tease him about that one.
So do we have a dollar amount or anything like that?
Then on the,
$80,000. I didn't know Parks Landscape could do concrete, that's just my.
Who's the bid from?
Clark's.
I didn't know they did that.
Okay.
motion approved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the summer concrete project. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Concrete is approved. Fundraiser.
Scrolling down to this one. Jared, do you know anything about this one while I'm scrolling? I'll let you.
Sorry, which one?
It's the volleyball.
Oh, the pickleball one?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're hosting a pickleball tournament, in May to raise money for, new uniforms for the high school, next year.
On the 10th, it looks like.
Yeah.
Did you say volleyball?
Yeah,
Volleyball,
they're
yeah.
holding a pickleball tournament. So they're gonna do that to raise some money, and then this summer they're actually gonna work at the softball concession stands, and we'll pay them kinda like we would a group normally, to give them an extra 1,000 towards that project as well.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the fundraiser. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Fundraiser is approved. Personnel business procedures.
I believe you also have a resignation from an associate. Add to that. Did you?
Motion to approve. Personnel business procedures.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve all the personnel business procedures. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. All approved. Superintendent's report.
I don't have a lot for you today. We did have a number of people go to the Teach to Heal training, which I'm really not the right person probably to say much about it. I know Terry was one of the people that went. I can tell you almost everybody who went, every administrator who went was sending me texts throughout the day. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is the greatest thing. So definitely something we're looking to bring in for our district. There are a lot of districts in our consortium. We've got that Eddyville or that Blanksburg program that we have students that sometimes go to. They're doing that training for their staff as well. So a lot of the area districts are getting on with Teach to Heal right now. So there's a lot of support internally for each district, for each other. Very exciting stuff here. Our intruder drills went fantastic. So I went, Brad went with me to each of the buildings last week. I can't remember what day that was now. Tuesday? Tuesday. We went with Senate and Demery, and they tested all of our emergency. The principals tested the emergency buttons that we installed this summer, which worked great. Honestly, as the intruders, Brad and I, if we didn't have a set of keys, we wouldn't have been able to get to most of the buildings. As they pushed that button and closed the fire doors that were held open by those magnets, there were large portions of the building that we would have just been stuck to one area. Now we had keys, so we kind of cheated and we could still go check everywhere. But that made a real positive deterrent for us, I think, for safety there. We also tested the radios. We found out a couple of our radios had a programming issue where it was continually ringing into the law center after we pressed the radio button. So Chief Demery has somebody come in to take a look at that for us to get that reprogrammed. Our students and staff did a fantastic job. We at no point did we run into anybody in the rooms that we could hear or see as we went through, and we really tried to peek around. The new window coverings that were put up at the high school on the side of the classroom doors, there's the windows on the side of the door there, did a really good job of blocking that cone of view into the rooms. Honestly, a lot of great improvements from even our lockdown drill this fall. We are continuing to work on adding window coverings. Thank you for pointing that one out, because that'll help to identify that. And I think as I looked at our ones, I think we've covered the big things, but I want to go around the building then after, maybe on an overcast day, and see if there's other windows that we need to look at there. But I think those are a really nice addition for us safety-wise. So a lot of good things going on that front, and people working hard, plugging through to the end. This is where it gets a little intense. Carol, Mike, Mike and Kevin, you're seeing now. Tom, I know you've lived it. Spring in a school is just a blast sometimes. So just keeping the lid on the bottle and getting everybody through to the end of May, and we'll be okay. So good things.
Okay. Any questions for Mark? Okay, we are down to board takeaways.
So my already come from things talked about tonight, and the fact that there's a lot of kids in Howard that think I'm just a full-time teacher now. Doing something. And I am enjoying it, for the most part. There's a couple sections that, I'm not so sure about. And I've talked to Mark a little bit about this, we need to have like new sub orientation. And we just talked about it, it's like, oh, we don't get new subs a lot, but my question that came to my mind was after the intruder drill. See, I was there at the high school for a tornado drill, and then we've actually got a real fire alarm, but it just turned out to be steam from the dishwasher that set off the fire alarm, but we had to evacuate for that. And an intruder drill all in about 10 days of my subbing. And my question is, do we train the subs what to do? Because I didn't know what to do. Now, the kids in all of those cases were awesome to help me. Terry did kind of tee me up about, 30 minutes before it was going to happen, that was going to happen. but I was impressed, the kids knew what to do. You get the chair and put it in, they do the chair. They knew to get it to the corner, and what I didn't know was really what I should do. The kids knew more than I did. And so as we're hearing over there where the intruders are walking down in the 6th grade wing, I'm just like, I think we should get out of the building, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to unlock a door. I just didn't know what to do. So I eventually made the decision that we would escape through the window. And so put a chair on either side, kids went out, they said they'd never left the building through the windows, they all thought it was kind of cool. And then they came back, they wanted to come back in through the windows. So, but my point is, I think we probably need to, at some point, do some sub-training on those specific procedures so they know what to do. Because I didn't, kids did, but still you have an adult that's gotta have the responsibility, so.
And you're specifically talking about the intruder drill?
That's probably the big one.
Because we used to have, the other drills posted,
Yeah.
and we had emergency folders.
There's
for-
all of that.
Okay.
But when you
Yeah.
hear there's an intruder
Yeah.
and now you're trying to think about kids' lives and what do you do?
Yeah.
I told them, get in the corner, get down, hunker down, get low. And we debriefed it afterwards, but still, I was just like,
Right.
I don't know when it's safe to get them out of the building. I don't know, where to take them, so that is all, that's all something I think we just probably need to do from a safety standpoint, ourselves to do that.
Could we put the protocol for those things in the emergency folders?
It's in there, it's in there.
Oh.
But the only reason that I would have read it, because she gave me about a half-hour heads
Yeah.
up. Otherwise, when you go in there to sub and everything, you've got so little time to prep to see what you're gonna do for the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's not one of those things you're gonna take out and read.
And I want to give a lot of credit to Ashley California, actually, she put together a wonderful sign for each high school classroom that we're gonna talk about at our next admin meeting. Honestly, she was very artistic about how she did it, and I think it would be a nice tool in each of our buildings to use, because it kind of says, for this specific thing, for fire, go here, or
Sure.
tornado, go here, to know what to do in the case of this kind of thing,
Yeah.
this is the person you want to follow.
And everybody knows what the sub.
Right, yeah, but this.
And
will
the
be-
kids were great.
Yeah.
They were, so. But I just think that's probably a little something we ought to do for them.
Do we invite the subs to the training?
I just wrote down
Okay.
a comment about that maybe that'd be a good idea, because
Last
we're
time.
due to retrain a little bit this fall.
Last time I did a full staff training, it was decided not to invite everybody. Time before that, yes, everybody, every associate, employee, bus driver, everybody was.
I think we probably want to invite them on this up, our retraining. we wanna do.
Yeah, I think it's an important topic to do that, to get them to do that, so. That's my takeaway.
Okay. Who's next?
I'll go. I really think the windows, the window coverings are striking. They're just, they add so much and have a very, very important purpose. And I will add that it is really fun going out the window.
Also, you've done it,
We've
yeah.
done it at Lakeview,
Our
yeah.
kids love it.
I know, it's, yeah.
I had kids from other classes that wanted to come back in through the window, just so they
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
And you said no.
No, I said yes, come on in.
And you know what, it's something I also found interesting experiencing that whole drill was, it's really easy when you are in the moment to flip that table. I mean, I'm flipping a table up on end in front of the door and all these things, and then afterwards, you're calm and you can remove the table, I can remove the table. So it's
Adrenaline.
survival, I mean, you're, yeah. So I would love to see the subs be informed, at least, on what to do.
Who's next?
I'll go next, I guess. I was impressed that, looking through the stuff ahead of time and then talking about the 4%. I think anytime we go in that direction, that is really cool. I also think it's great that we come here and Mr. Kincaid does not have to talk about bus drivers. It's always very nice, so I really appreciate that. some-
We're not out of the woods, but I wasn't
Yeah.
complaining.
So I really enjoy that. And I think the other thing, the safety issue, at the start of the year, we had somebody come and talk about safety, and of course, we had a program here on safety and all the different things. You talk about safety around here is so important.
Got 3 left.
Oh, no. All over the spring here, there's been, what,
concert, honor band, regular spring band, there's another one too.
Ensemble concert.
Ensemble,
Ensemble
yeah.
contest.
And I've got to go see most of those, and that was really nice. So, my kids are pretty proud of me. Pretty talented too. Anyway.
I'll follow up on that a little bit. You know, just extra kudos to our staff members that do those events. You know, they've got contracted hours, they're not getting anything extra by doing that. You know, you can really tell when those kids are proud, and some of them, like mine, I just videoed him to catch his funny faces because he just loved it so much. I'll show you after the meeting, but just kudos to everybody that makes those things work. You know, it's a good thing to see. And again, thankfully, no transportation issues for our spring sports yet.
Yeah, you knock on some wood there.
Yeah.
We got about 2 more weeks.
Other than that, no meetings, so I'll have a lot of things.
Mr. Moore, you're next.
I think I'd like to give a shout out, I guess, we had some more volunteers that we approved tonight. One thing that I think we don't give enough credit to is the amount of parents that volunteer to do stuff, whether it's for FFA or whatever it may be. I see a couple of Lakeview, things like that, the PTO. So shout out to all the parents that are out there helping guide their children's education and helping the school district.
One of the things I read in here, I can't remember where it was now, but 92% of the children were involved in something, is that junior high?
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's so impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty
Or
commendable.
it's something.
And with what you said with the volunteers, I saw a photo from after prom, and it was a parent photo, and there were so many parents. I just thought that was great. Yeah.
And I will say, they did a phenomenal job. Like, I walked into the high school yesterday morning and it was spotless. You couldn't even tell they were there. And all the kids I talked to today,
I did have some inside information though, that there was extra chips and queso.
Yeah.
And that did not really get dispersed too much.
It will be on Monday for Teacher Appreciation Week.
Disappointment there.
Lastly, I too agree that our parent-teacher organization has been very, very supportive. Those are some pretty dynamic ladies who lead that group, and they've done a lot of good things for us. I still, we do not have any one-way signage at the end of that street.
You're talking CHS.
Yeah, at the high school, right. So, I know we talked about it a couple meetings ago. There's nothing there that says it's a one-way street until you go down to the north end.
So who owns the city, or who owns the street?
City, right now, yeah.
Right now, the city owns it.
So they would have to be the one to put the sign up.
That's what I would assume. Yeah, they would be the.
I did make a note to myself after that last meeting, I apologize.
No, that's
I meant to
okay.
talk to Jason
That's
about
okay.
it, and I forgot.
And one last item was that Mr. Wiskus has talked about a retreat. We talked about it last year. We talked about it this year. I kind of need to either make it happen or it's not going to happen. But summer's upon us. If we want to do that, I'm seeing some heads going like this.
We can't take action, it's not an agenda item, it's not just something for us to.
Yeah.
I'll send some emails to ask about dates and start looking
Yeah,
at what's.
Yeah, that's what we've done in the past is have everybody submit dates you can't do
Yeah. Okay.
and then schedule something around that.
Okay. Sounds good. That's all I've got.
Done with the
We are ready for closed session.
Do we have to adjourn things?
No.
Okay.
Oh, that's take the tweets.
What?
He's never gonna watch you.
No kidding.
See the staircase?
Yeah, I saw that.
You never got that when she was over there.
I stand up, right?
Never
open, Mark. Brian, you gotta leave that door open. We are still in open session.
We're still not.
We're still in open session.
Yeah, we can't have none.
Ready?
I think we just need to take a motion.
We need a motion to go into the closed session.
Got it. Sing like why.
Someone made a motion, I didn't.
No, you need to read
I will.
that statement and then have somebody make the motion
All right.
and then do a roll call.
Closed session authorized by the Iowa Code Section 21.51 to review or discuss records which are required or authorized by state or federal law to be kept confidential, and Iowa Code Section 21.51C to discuss whether to conduct a hearing or to conduct hearings to suspend or expel a student.
Do we have do we have a written request or a parent request?
We follow the procedure that Danielle had out.
Okay. Motion to go into closed session as read.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
It's roll call.
Roll call, excuse me. Yes.
Berger,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Heffern,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Liscus.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we're back in open session. And we're ready for item A, consideration and action on the student disciplinary agreement.
Make a motion to accept, as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the agreement as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Or
Aye.
It's not a roll call, is it? No. Any opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion
Second.
adjourned and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Pose same sign. We are adjourned.